You are listening to The Last Hand, Book 8 of the Nadia Wolf Series, written by Nicolette Pierce. Copyright 2018. Audio copyright 2025 by Pierced Heart Publishing. Digitally narrated with full cast of voices. Chapter 3. Frankie's dream of having only gorgeous men come over never came true. Each invitee came with their significant other. I gazed about the leather-decorated living room, amazed that in such a short time everyone had found their happily ever after. Grayson had found Jenna, and both seemed completely content together. She animatedly chatted about the bed and breakfast, which was, of course, a success. How could it not be with Grayson at the helm? Remy had Ava, who looked as though she could drop-kick a ninja, while still pulling off more style than I could. I glanced down at my baggy shirt and jeans and sighed. I didn't even have Caleb's good looks to balance me out as he was out running errands. Ian could barely take his eyes off Gwen. She was beautiful, of course, but I knew there was something more to her. There was something more to all of them than pretty hair and white teeth. And while I was happy to meet each one of them, I also felt a little overwhelmed. I had gone away when life had crumbled and came back to buildings rebuilt, and each friend happily paired. While I still loved Grayson, it was only as a friend. And my ex-husband Ian was more of a brother. Then there was Remy, who would always hold a special place in my heart as the one that I couldn't shake. He was my constant shadow. Thankfully, Maya and David had come as well. They were the glue that held this motley crew together. Frankie and Mark hurried between the couples, who were chatting amicably. Drinks were offered and appetizers passed around. The atmosphere seemed like more of a party than a doomsday strategy session. It was almost as if nothing had happened. Yet I detected a subtle unease, or perhaps it was just myself. It was as if there was a nameless creature sitting in the room that no one wanted to address. Maya hurried over to me with a beaming smile. Well, she hurried as fast as her pregnant, waddling body would allow. Her curly blonde hair bobbed with each step. It was still faster than I could move, considering every time I tried to stand I felt nauseated. So I sat safely on the brown leather couch.
"Isn't this wonderful?"
she asked, sitting next to me.
"Everyone is here. We're all a big happy family again."
When were we ever a big happy family? I asked.
"Don't be such a poop,"
she scolded, wagging her finger at me.
"It's wonderful that we're getting together like this."
I didn't mean to be a poop, I said. I just meant that we've never been like this before. It was always David and Remy trying to pull rank on everyone. Grayson with his head buried in casino work. Ian causing mischief from a different country. And you and I stuck in the middle of all of it.
Well, I guess when you put it that way, it's a little different. But look around. Everyone is in love.
She clasped her hands together at her chest.
Isn't this great?
Yeah, I guess.
What do you mean you guess?
Maya leaned over and whispered,
"You're not still in love with Grayson, are you?"
I glanced about the room to see if anybody had heard her. Thankfully, it didn't seem as though anyone had. No, I mean, yes, I love him as a friend. It has nothing to do with Grayson. I'm just overwhelmed, I guess.
Overwhelmed with what?
Well, I'm engaged and pregnant. And oh yeah, there's a bloodthirsty drug lord that wants revenge. And I'm living with Frankie and Mark. Maya rubbed her rounded belly with a frown.
Well, we're here because of the drug lord, so we'll come up with a plan for that. As for the baby, I'm so excited. Our babies are going to have so much fun together. It's great for them to have instant cousins. And who knows, maybe we can get Jenna, Gwen, and Ava to have babies as well.
It was then that attention was turned toward us as 6 pairs of eyes stared in horror at Maya. I simply smiled back. Those poor girls had to know what they were marrying into. And yes, Remy and Ava could say that they weren't technically related to Maya. However, I wasn't related either, and yet our babies would be cousins. It was as if once you met Maya and she tugged you into her circle, you were part of her family forever. And that's what I loved most about her. And yet, it did have its downsides too.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I've already told you the time frame for having babies, which means you all need to get married soon.
While Frankie and Mark had no desire to hop in on the baby conversation, they were quick to turn their attention when it came to weddings. Frankie glanced at each couple with dollar signs in his eyes.
We can host all your weddings here. You just let us take care of everything. We have a 10th chapel, which will be a rotating theme. Whatever you want, we'll make sure it happens.
You'll get the friends and family discount too.
Mark added.
And if you'd like to do a double wedding, we can accommodate that.
Maya clasped her hands together.
Can you do 4 weddings at once?
I've never done one that large before.
But we'll take on the challenge.
Oh, this is going to be great. I wish I could get married again.
David nervously glanced at his wife.
Let's just focus on the baby for now.
What date should we mark on our calendar?
Frankie asked the group.
Hang on.
Remy interrupted.
We weren't planning on having a group wedding.
Frankie and Maya frowned. Maya crossed her arms as best as she could, folding them over her belly. She tried to look stern but couldn't pull it off. However, everyone in the room knew they were no match for her. When she had her mind made up on something, it was hard to sway her. And with Frankie and Mark in her corner, it would be best if everyone fell in line.
You know very well that you all are busy.
Maya turned to the first couple.
Remy, you put in long hours at the casino. Plus, you and Ava both have the tendency to drag your feet. Don't try to deny it. Wouldn't you rather leave the planning to us and finally get married?
Before they could answer, she turned to Ian and Gwen.
I know that you both are doing extensive charity work for Sierra Leone. Wouldn't you rather spend time doing that than planning a wedding? And I mean a legitimate marriage with a certificate.
Again, she didn't let them answer.
And Grayson and Jenna, I know darn well that you both are spending all of your time working on the bed and breakfast. You both are cut from the same cloth and you can't get your heads out of business to save your life. Let us do the planning. You can look over the details and give your final approval.
She then turned to Frankie with a smile.
I think we have it settled.
What about Nadia?
Ian asked, grinning. I returned his grin with a scowl. Maya waved a dismissive hand.
Of course I'm going to take care of her too. It was implied.
His grin grew wider, and my scowl deepened.
Well, I think we have it all arranged. We'll get back to you with a date.
Frankie said, ending the discussion before anyone could object. In those few minutes, the entire room had been silenced, and everyone had the same dumbfounded look on their faces. Once again, the meddling trio had bulldozed the group. Thankfully, David had the good sense to break the silence as the 3 tittering wedding planners maneuvered to the kitchen, talking all at once about the upcoming wedding.
Don't worry, I'll talk to Maya. As soon as the baby arrives, she'll be too distracted,
He said. Then he turned to me.
So Nadia, how's the new house coming along?
Caleb is checking on it now. It seems to be progressing, although very slowly. I'll be happy when it's finished. He smiled knowingly.
Life must be interesting here.
You have no idea. Everyone here was familiar with Frankie and Mark. There was a general murmur of agreement before the conversation began flowing as easily as it had before the matrimonial announcement. Caleb had promised to be back before the others arrived, so something must have delayed him. I sat on the couch, feeling like the odd man out. Everyone here had their significant other except for me. Normally, something like that wouldn't bother me too much, but right now I was feeling rather vulnerable. David must have sensed that. He crossed over and sat next to me on the couch.
You know I'll talk to Maya, right? There's no reason to be nervous.
I know. This has nothing to do with her. I've had this feeling that when I got back to Vegas, everything would fall apart like it did before. It seems like every time I'm in the city, I have bad luck. But as soon as I leave, I have good luck. I'm just worried. With Sergio's cousin Alfonso still on the loose, what if everything falls apart again? What if I lose everything again? He clasped my hand and gave it a gentle squeeze.
You know we'll never let that happen.
I nodded to make him feel better, yet it did nothing to relieve the sourness churning in my stomach. I knew, without a doubt, that my entire life was still held by a single, fragile thread. What if by the end of today, or next week, or even a month from now, it would snap and be gone? Life was in a very turbulent state. And so, when Maya, Frankie, and Mark all skipped into the room and announced the ceremony date, I didn't blink. The others might have gaped in astonishment, but I saw it as a relief. In 1 week from today, I'd be married to Caleb. And that was the only thing that made this situation any better.